Hi there, it's Dean Briggs. I want to say, first of all, welcome and congratulations for downloading the tools you need for the Brave Quest experience. I believe this is going to be a revolutionary period of time. So important, so grounding, so good in the experience you will have with your son as he learns what it means to become a man and feels welcomed into the company of men under the careful, strong, loving, and wise guidance of his father. So right from the very beginning, I want to say, good job, Dad. If you are downloading these materials, if you're buying the book for your son, you are already ahead of the game in so many ways. So many sons never receive this kind of guidance from their fathers, and so many fathers that would like to be invested and give this kind of guidance to their son simply don't know how to do it. And they have the energy, but they maybe don't have the creativity or the understanding of what goes into a meaningful rite of passage, and so they stay stuck. But you aren't stuck. You made the decision, and you are moving forward. So let me tell you a little bit about myself. I am a father and a stepfather to 7 sons. I lost my wife many years ago. After almost 16 years of marriage, I had 4 boys under the age of 11 when she passed away. I later married a young widow herself who had 3 boys and 1 girl. And so around the age of 36 or 37, I found myself as the father and stepfather to 7 sons. I felt the privilege of that, the weight of that, especially in this day and age, shaping their lives so that they could feel the dignity of being born as they were born. There is a war on the soul of young men. There's all this conversation and language about toxic masculinity. There is a great attempt to simply create nice boys who actually never grow up and are largely indistinguishable from girls. There is such a trend in the cultural conversations. We see the perils of sexual dysphoria and gender fluidity, telling girls they can be boys and boys they can be girls, and devaluing both in the process without any clear indicators of how a boy becomes a man that used to be so fundamental to the workings of society, where boys worked alongside their fathers on the farm or in a more agricultural environment. The modernization and technological innovations have created so many other kinds of family scenarios and job scenarios. And they have also prolonged the growth cycle and maturation cycle for boys. They're playing on their game systems and well into their 20s, living in their parents' basements. And they have no idea what is a man and what is expected of a man and how do I become a man. The rhythms and routines of the rites of passage that do exist are purely age-based and have nothing to do with maturity or integrity or testing. They are, at 16, you can get your driver's license, you can vote or go to war or lose your virginity. These are all the kinds of rites of passage that have nothing to do with character or the quality of a young man. They simply have to do with reaching a certain age and doing certain things. Well, the Brave Quest experience is meant to change that. It's ideally suited to ages 12 to 16. Older than 16, and you're probably in a different conversation with your son. You could be creative and still do this. But really, some of the windows of his willingness to listen to you and to draw guidance from you will be closing if you don't invest in certain ways before you reach that age. With my own children, I started at age 8 and said, when you turn 13, something big is going to happen. I wanted to start building that sense of anticipation. I didn't go into it. I didn't explain it. They wouldn't have understood anyway. But every year after. Remember, age 13, something big is coming. I had the sex talk with him at age 12. I gave him a pocket knife at age 11. Things like that you're starting to advance that conversation where by the age of 13, ideally, again, 12 to 16 is the window, but by the age of 13, if you get this in advance, if you're leaning into the conversation, now the Brave Quest experience can kick in. Here's how it works. Simple overview. About 55 days before, you're going to start with the book. You're going to give them the book. You need to get your own copy. I encourage you to get a copy for yourself as well. Go through the book yourself. Have your own copy so that you know what he is going through, what he's reading about, but let his copy be his. You'll notice my name is not on the book. I'm not the author of the book. In the very inside, there's space for him to write his name. He's going to be the author of this book. It's set up like Lord of the Rings and John Bunyan, Pilgrim's Progress, and a journal. 3 days, 3 pages, 2 or 3 pages a day for 50 days. That is walking him through an allegorical world, fantasy adventure world. It's easy for him to read. He's writing his responses to certain challenges and tests and problems. He's going to fail in some areas. He's going to have to learn to overcome. He's going to have to learn to apply wisdom. He's going to dream about what his life could be about. He's going to go through the cliffs of cowardice and the valley of curves and the hall of shame, and he's going to meet different characters and face different tests. Day by day, he's going to do it. Now, if you get your own copy, you will find as a man in your probably 30s or 40s, it's going to be a powerful reflective tool for your own life and your own journey. But at minimum, you'll see what he's doing, and it'll create language that you can connect to your son's soul with. Well, so for 50 days while he's doing that, that's why you start 55 days early. Because you want to give him an invitation, a summons. I'm going to give you that tool free when you download the resources. It's a customizable PDF where you plug in his name and age and some other information, and it automatically creates a document you can print, and then you give to him about 55 days before, summoning him to this journey. The book then is his guide for those 50 days. Meanwhile, you're preparing for a 2 or 3 my dad and me getaway. I did a variety of things with my own sons. I wanted something to be unique for each of them. With 7 sons, right? I took one jet skiing, one four-wheeling, one whitewater rafting, one dog sledding. Another one we did outdoor survival skills, camping, all kinds of experiences where your son doesn't know it, but you're working on this. You're preparing. Now you say, I don't know how to prepare for that. That's why you download the Father's Field Guide. I've laid it all out. I give you the timeline. I give you the language, like for inviting the men to the gathering of men ceremony that will end it all. Don't worry, I'll get to that in a second. I give you a sample invitation. I give you the summons letter for your son. I give you packing lists and itineraries, special gift ideas that can enrich the experience. I give challenge ideas that are just zero cost ways to make your son feel tested, like he's accomplishing something. That was a critical part of the rites of passage for thousands of years. The son had to prove himself. Listen, men are wired a certain way. We want to feel a sense of accomplishment and achievement. Your son is no different than that. These participation trophies don't work. They actually water down the sense of accomplishment, and they don't add any sense of being battle tested or accomplishing something out of your strength. A son wants to feel tested and strong. So I give you a bunch of ideas for simple challenges, mental challenges, physical challenges, spiritual challenges. The book is actually the first of those challenges. But then when you go out and you rough it, You may be in a variety of circumstances. Getting out and camping might not be possible, but there are things you can do in the city, you can do in the woods, you can do in the country. I really encourage you to be creative in this. It doesn't have to break the bank. It doesn't have to cost a lot. It just has to represent an investment of your time and energy and love. And the more you put yourself into it, the more you pour your heart into it, the more your son is going to feel the excitement of that. The more he's going to feel connected and see how you've crafted this special experience. I do encourage, if at all possible, get away. Get away from internet, get away from cell phones. Again, it doesn't have to cost a lot. I'll give you ideas. But get away for 2 or 3 days, just you and your son. Do those challenge ideas. Make a campfire, cook, fish, do stuff. You may not know how to do it, but you can learn with him and you can show him and you can grow together through it. He needs that kind of time with just you. So I'm going to walk you through that. And the Father's Field Manual, about 20 pages you can print that give you just a short introduction to the why behind the what. I want your head in the game, Dad. I want to give you the framework, the paradigm for why this matters. I'm just giving you a little bit here. But when you download the field guide, I'm going to talk to you. The book is for your son. The field guide is for you so that you can really understand the why behind the what and be fully invested. It's going to trigger other creative ideas. It's a turnkey system if you just do what I map out. The schedule, the timeline, the resource, the tools, the challenges, the gifts. If you just do nothing but that, you're going to have a turnkey system. But it's really designed to also inspire you to be creative. You can tweak and customize and adjust to your own son's temperament and personality, and to your own budget and to your own preferences and lifestyle and the region you live in and all that. So the Father's Field Guide is going to get your head and heart in the game, and then it's going to lay out the full plan. And then the planning kit takes certain elements from the field guide and puts them in a pre-formatted, easy to print version for your reference. So there'll be 2 or 3 pages for your son, 3 or 4 pages for you. The planning kit boils down the essentials into an easy reference. So those 2 things, you can either read it on your read the Father's Field Manual on your iPad if you have one, your tablet. You can read it there, or you can print it. But the planning kit is meant to be printed as an easy reference for your son and for you at certain moments. And then all of that culminates. He's read for 50 days, you go away for 3 or 4 days, 2 or 3 days, and you come back to a pre-planned gathering of men. Again, I walk you through this. How to invite them, how to organize it, what to ask of them. You're asking them to participate in a certain way where they're pouring wisdom and value into your son's life. You come back from that special getaway. There's steak and potatoes and man food. And you have this public acknowledgement of your son in the presence of men. And with their voice and participation, they're honoring your son. They're welcoming him into the company of men. I show you, get the sword. Have him kneel, knight him, proclaim your love for him, publicly boast in him. Let the men add their wisdom. There's a document, a declaration he'll read, I am a man. And it's a statement of the virtues and character qualities he aspires to, his commitment before the Lord to be a man of integrity and virtue, surrendered to the Lordship of Christ. And that document is formatted so that it can be printed and framed and the men can sign it. Listen, from start to finish, from the book to the getaway to the gathering of men, I've mapped it all out. I give you the summons to start him off and then all the way to the end. It's this journey where he'll feel tested, he'll feel valued, and he'll feel welcomed into the company of men. I encourage you, buy your own copy. Buy one for him that's his to journal privately, but buy one for yourself as well. It'll be a reflective tool for you, and it'll give you insight into what he's going through. Listen, I'm just so delighted that you have opted in. You've signed up. Click those buttons to download, get your free resources, read them. It'll only take you about an hour to read the Father's Field Guide. Don't neglect that. It really will put your head and heart in the game. You'll start to get excited. You'll start to get ideas. And that spills over to the enthusiasm and investment and love your son will feel. It's part of the bonding for you all to be in it together. Don't look at this as a chore to check off your list. Look at it as a critical moment to shape your son's future. You are raising the next generation of leaders. Listen, your son was born male, but he has to become a man. And it falls upon you, the great privilege. You say, I don't know how to do that. That wasn't done for me. I feel inadequate or incapable of doing it. That's why I've crafted this entire experience. I've laid it out for you. You don't have to be afraid of the process. You can customize if you want, but if you just follow it, it's a turnkey plan. Put your heart into it, and you will shape your son's heart and identity all through his teen years and craft a meaningful and significant life for him. Hey, listen, I bless you. I'm just asking the Lord to touch you with his encouragement and his vision for this, for you and your son. It's going to be good. Well done, Dad. Download those resources and get started.